how do you usually start your videos? You talk about what are you in Queensboro?
Yeah, Queensboro, the Queen City, as we call it.
The Queen City,
Queen
fantastic.
City. Yeah.
We finally got together to do a video, to do a Stanchies pregame video of sorts for you guys. The secret last video of the season. Game 82 today between the Canucks and the Oilers.
Feels more like a therapy session for this season.
That is, you know what? That is what this
Survivor
is.
therapy session.
That's exactly what this is. Because, yeah, we've made it through this entire year. It was very difficult.
Yeah, it was a rough one.
It was a lot. How are you feeling about this year? What do you when you look back on everything?
Hey, Buffalo just scored.
Nice. That's the real team we care about here.
Buffalo, Buffalo.
We're moving to Buffalo next season.
This season it was a rough one. This is I think you as well because you've done the most games you've done in this season, and you notice that you're hitting a lot of the same themes you're talking about because there's not a lot happening. Like the team was like there's probably two distinct phases: the Quinn Hughes before he left, and then the after part. And there was like a small little 5-game bump. You're like, oh, the new guys. So let's see what happens. But they kind of hit the same teams again. So first half of the season was the continuation of the weird divorce vibes from Pettersson and Miller. That finally got taken care of, and then the second half was kind of like, yeah, well, this team should lose out to get good draft positioning, which they did, which, fair enough, good for them for doing that. But now I think majority of the season, everyone was kind of looking for next season, and that's hard to write into.
Yeah.
Everyone wants that season now.
Yeah, it's literally just that. Can we skip past the cutscene on this,
Yeah,
this
exactly.
video game, get
It's
right
not
to
working.
the good stuff? This year, it was like, while it was really cool and it was absolutely, it's an honor to do them. It gets hard. It gets hard to do it when the season is this bad, and you guys check out during the season as well, and no one tweets anymore.
Yeah.
Now
I was using Canuck bots at some point. It's like game bot updates. I guess that's going in.
I saw a few of them. I never got that desperate, but it was tempting.
Yeah, hey, whatever works.
Whatever works. And I mean, part of that's also just the difference between where we started in terms of even just a few years ago. Everyone was on Twitter.
Yeah.
Now,
divide the blue
for
sky.
some very strange reason,
Weird political climate.
that no one can explain.
Yeah.
Less people are on Twitter
which
now
fair
than
enough,
ever
right?
before.
It makes sense. So there's a lot. It's a lot more. Yeah, it's hard to find all the Canucks fans in one spot, and it's not exactly a team that everyone wants to talk about. And I think I was running the numbers, not to bring up Buffalo every single second we get, but the Buffalo's numbers are exploding the team because that's the fan base that kind of went through what Vancouver is going through, except they were doing it in a different way. They were trying to compile those first round picks, and they finally got there. Ratings are in, and the merchandise sales are off the roof, and we know that'll happen in Vancouver. It doesn't take much in Vancouver for it to take off. Everyone knows that, and that's going to happen eventually. But right now, when it's this bad, and again, fair enough, it's hard to get engaged with the team. What do you cheer for?
Vancouver does, at the end of the day, they want to love the Canucks. They want
100%.
They want you to give them a reason to love the Canucks. And when you drag your feet about doing any sort of rebuild, when ownership is the way that it is, they make it just so hard to really get invested and to really enjoy the product that they're putting on the ice, even regardless of what the team is, where the team is at. And right now, we saw it in 2024 how quickly everyone got back into it again.
Insane atmosphere.
Yeah, outside the rink, just every day felt like a nice day out. It felt like the weather felt warmer. Everyone seemed a little nicer. When the playoffs, when you're winning the playoffs, it's a good time. Everyone wants to be there, and the season got everyone disappeared.
Yeah, I mean that again. Go back to Buffalo. It parallels Buffalo even with the ownership. They for years they hated their ownership, and they still do to some extent, obviously. But it was the same thing where they're like, how are we going to become a better team when this is the ownership that we feel is affecting the success of our team? And it's sort of the same thing in Vancouver. The noise has never been higher around the ownership of this team. They kind of been able to hide in the shadows, in a sense, for a while now. But now it's kind of coming out where you've had now two management have run into kind of the same issues. And I'm not taking everything with management. They have their own issues that played into it. But it does feel like ownership right now is getting their own way. And that's what's kind of causing a lot of fans to be like, well, it's hard to support this team because I don't see the vision. What's the vision? And right now, obviously, with the rebuild, that they kind of, let's be honest, they stumbled into it. They fell into it. And at least that's the biggest thing you can say. They steered into the curve a bit, right? Yay, they swerved into it.
The car is heading for the wall, and they did put their foot on the gas they were supposed to.
They steered right into it. So good for them. But then it's also we all hear the rumblings on the scenes. Is this the team that is the second to get a hint of success? Are they just going to gun it again and then just start trading short-term? Trading prospects for short-term success sort of thing, right? So that's the thing where I think you have a fan base now that is now kind of they want to see actual change for more than just like this one season. They want to see actual growth from the team, and that starts at the top. Because otherwise, it's like it is hard for teams to get or fans to get invested in what they're seeing. It is kind of funny because like if they do even have like a once, say they get in the playoffs next year, let's just play a fun game. They make the no, just come with this ride. They catch and fire, shooting percentage off the chart, 50% shooting.
Andrei Kuzmenko comes back.
Yeah, he reignites Pedersen. They have 100-point seasons.
It's a miracle.
They fly it, and they get in the playoffs again. The crowds will be there. The ticket sales will be there. And like, who amongst us doesn't doubt for 1 second that the Canucks will A, raise the tickets like crazy, and B, like probably try and go all in on that, right? So that's the worry, that this team will get a hint of success and then just go all out doing the same mistakes. So that's the worry.
Now we're staring down potentially this team not being competitive for the next 3 years, which if that's the purposeful direction they take, I think that's fine, and I think everybody will get on board with that. Like, no one, it's never been about just losing the games. It's when you lose but you're trying to win that really everybody loses their minds about. And yeah, you have this directionless, rudderless team for so long. It's nice to see that they have started going in the direction of we're gonna do this the proper way, but then every now and then you hear little rumblings of we're going to trade the second round pick for reclamation projects, which have famously done very well in Vancouver. We have a great track record with those. Yeah, it really is just it didn't work for those people, but it might work for us.
Yeah, if you're looking at a purely results-driven business, it's really, really, really hard to go to bat for this management team. Yeah, right. Like as everyone says, like they're the ones that got them into this trouble. I'm not necessarily going to want to let them be the ones to try and fix it. Rutherford's, his future in the league. Everyone does he want to? How much longer does he want to do this? Do you want to have a guy that comes along for maybe a year or two, then bows out? Like, even their whole dynamic, I don't like, because like Alvin, like he's like the assistant to the general manager. We got some Michael Scott stuff there. Where it's like, what does he even do here? Like the whole Quinn Hughes trade, that to me was one of the worst PR.
He's turned into a John Weisbrod really fast.
Yeah, right. And that's the thing. Like when if I'm Alvin, I feel really bad where it's like I've got Quinn Hughes is like that's my statement trade I have to make fair. Back from a corner from your own mistakes, sure, but whatever. You're gonna trade him now, and then it's like Rutherford's like, hey, I got this kid. And you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
like,
guess not.
Yeah, so it's a bit tougher. You're like, I don't know what's gonna happen. So. I find, if I'm the owner, you definitely start fresh, because right now the fan base, they need to earn trust back with them. And if you're showing that on your end, you as an owner, what you can do is you can eat costs for that. You know what? I'm going to take a hit for you guys. I'm going to spend money. I'm going to boot them out. We're going to start fresh. And that is something alone that you can kind of, again, it's kind of like when the GM fires a coach as they use that as a shield. The owner can buy some more time by firing the general manager and be like, hey, it was them who did it. I'm still good. And then, right or wrong, he can do that to buy himself a bit of grace.
Yeah, it's true. And even if starting fresh is what, just Ryan Johnson and Manny Malhotra.
That alone, like there's so many things you could do. Like, and it would never happen. People are talking, maybe Luongo comes back. Like Luongo, let's just do like another. Come on a story with me again. Yeah. So it's Kuzmenko, Pedersen.
The dream.
Have 100-point season. But if you bring in someone like, say you brought in Luongo, that's a guy who gets this market. That would be such a home run in terms of PR. Now, it's going to happen. No, he's in Florida. He loves Florida. He's won cups. His family's there. It's not going to happen. But the secondary thing is like, yeah, you get the Sedins more involved. You get Malhotra in. You bring Ryan Johnson in, whatever. You now have like people that the fans respect, and especially if you get the Sedins elevated in the organization, like that alone, easy sell job.
My question on that though is for those players, how much do you think that they worry about the concept of, if this goes south, I will no longer be as beloved in this market as I once was. Like, I wonder, like, if Trevor Linden partially regrets taking the president role that when he did, not just because he ended up getting kind of knifed in the back, but also just because it kind of did change his legacy with the Canucks a bit. And if you're a player like the Sedins, especially, who might as well walk on water in Vancouver, like, that's a big ask for them to go in and potentially risk that legacy unless they are sure that they've got the answers and they can figure it out.
Yeah, I think like, you and me being like at our level of like not being that much power, like we're going to be always worried about that sort of thing. Like, imposter syndrome, what happens? Yeah. With something like Linden, I think he's the golden child. I don't think he ever worried about that. He's just like, I run this town. Who gives a shit? I got this.
Oh no. And then 3 years later, it's just, oh God, what happened?
Yeah. So I don't think he thought about failing. He's like, I got this. Everyone loves me here. And they still do. Like he did take a hit, I think, but like the fact that he got in the right side of history for getting fired for wanting to rebuild, That saved
That
him.
did save him a bit for sure.
Right, he got out. If he had stayed and done the bending thing, I think for sure he gets a hit at the legs. But the fact that he was the guy like, hey guys, we should probably get out of this.
And then he opened up some gyms, and everything was better.
And everyone was happy. Everyone clapped.
Everyone clapped.
The culture with this team was so bad and bad for so many areas. And I'm sure, and I know there are teams that have won that have had bad, like players that the culture didn't work, or players that weren't the greatest personality. They won. It didn't matter. But when you lose, that comes to the forefront. And this team, it fell apart in, as I've said, a generationally bad way. We've never seen a collapse like that from any team in the recent memory, right? No. Just the entire leadership core falling apart. It's wild. The regression of Elias Pettersson, wild. Quinn Hughes finally went out, wild. It's all wild. Even like the way they handled Bruce Boudreau, terrible. That there's so many aspects along the way that just fell apart that were like, what are they doing here? So they need to rebuild the culture. Curtis Douglas gets his goal and everyone's happy. Like, that alone felt so refreshing. Like, oh, they're actually happy.
True.
He scored a goal. That felt nice.
Like how much, like they were celebrating that goal. Like he had just scored, like the same way that they did when Pius Suter scored. Remember that guy?
Hendrickson's last goal, or Danielson's last goal.
Yeah, it was like that. And him after the game where he's like, I never thought I might never get it. So I was like, that's great. That's a great story. And like, I mean, that even just brings us into like the Stanchies this year, where it was like, that was my last game doing the Curtis Douglas goal.
I'm so jealous you got that one.
Somebody, I was like, I completely lucked out on that one. Somebody on Twitter asked like, what was our favorite games to cover? They all kind of blended together this year for sure.
I don't answer that one, but
which was, and it was, I think the Curtis Douglas game ranks high for me. I know for myself, like the videos, obviously those kind of jump to the forefront because those are more memorable than the games themselves. Yeah. And so there was the one for the Detroit game where I ate Detroit pizza. That one was fun. Yeah. There was the one where I went to Britannia. That was for a Nashville game. That one, people loved that one.
You made it fun. That's the thing right now. Like if we're losing, like we have to find ways to make the content fun and interesting because the ice isn't providing the entertainment. Yeah. And that's what we have to try and do, right?
Yeah. Yep, exactly. You have to have as much fun with it as possible. And that means, talking sometimes a little bit less about the game itself and more about what's going on around them or what's going on in the city or whatever.
That's the thing with even like Botch and Haiti, like he did this and he would have, sometimes there would be, the game itself was an inconsequential game, but there would be so many stories around the team that he'd lead into. And that's kind of, sometimes it is about the story around the team and the ice instead of the game itself on the ice. So especially in a season like this, there's been so much noise around the team that we've talked about a lot, but we kind of hit that point, I think you'd agree, where like we talked about everything we possibly could about what had happened. And we're in like a stall pattern. We're just waiting for next season. So you do things where you do the videos and stuff. And it's like, that's fun because like, that's what you got. You're rebuilding the culture around the writing industry.
Because eventually we'll be making these videos for a good team.
Exactly.
We'll be making this video before Game 3 of the Stanley Cup Final.
That's the dream.
Or Game 4, a game where they could actually clinch. I don't know why I said Game 3 first.
Yeah, I know. Well,
I don't know. Just wanted to make it random, I guess.
Then the league folds after Game 3.
They go up 3-0. And then
Bettman cancels the league.
Then COVID-2 happens.
That would be so Vancouver.
That would be the most Canucks thing possible.
Yeah.
That and not winning the draft lottery.
Yeah, well, everyone here is assuming third overall. Caleb Malhotra. That is
there's a reason every time I refer to that, I refer to it as they're getting a top 3 pick. I never call it the best odds at first. It's just top 3. We're not going to talk about it as first.
It's the Malhotra draft for me.
It's the Malhotra draft. This year for you, when it comes to the Stanchies and everything, when you look at like this year compared to like past years and everything, outside of the team on the ice, like how did you feel about this year and like how writing was this year?
It really has to be tied into last season because they're so like interlinked with what was going on. So like the vibes for the last season and the first half of the season was just it was such a drag because like the team, again, when you get to go to the games and you're around the team in the locker room, you can sense just like that level of the players not wanting to interact, not wanting to talk, the vibes in the room. And even when we talk about like what are the things you and I can do to make our content better, the Canucks as well, like they at this point need to win the fans back. They need to have their players show their personality, do more videos. And I don't think it's the social media team's fault, but the Canucks need to themselves up top need to like loosen up a bit and let them shine. And I hope we see more of that because like in the Curtis Douglas thing in the act, that's fun stuff. We need more of that to shine through during these rough years. So from our end, just like covering the team when, they were still stuck in that spiral from the Pettersson and Miller fallout, it was such a drag. Because like you don't know what the plan is. It still felt like they were trying to maybe, can we win now? There's always like yeah, we should go, but what if we make the playoffs? And you're always like, no, you guys got to rebuild, because I think we'll get the question later. But someone asked the question like, what was like the worst game to cover? And for me, like this season kind of reminded me a lot of the Willie Desjardins year, where
Oh
like
boy.
with Triamkin was the biggest story of the season. But that was like the same sort of thing where it's like a team that should be rebuilding but wasn't, and you felt this so discouraged watching it.
Yeah, it felt like there was no point because it felt like you were just going to see this endless on end of
Yeah.
middling, missing the playoffs every year type of thing.
Yeah, and that's for this team when he was in a way, him forcing his hand did kind of at least make them go a new direction. Like it did feel like a rebirth of sort. Like okay, at least they're gonna like I even said online like get rid of everyone involved from that culture fallout as much as you can. Like we just got to move past it. Like I'm not individually blaming which players. I'm just saying you just got to get rid of as many people as possible from that era just to start fresh. And the ones that remain behind will probably hopefully either adapt or get out. And we're seeing Brock Besser step up.
Yeah.
Players like that. Phil Roenick trying to step up. Like we're seeing players step up in the absence of that leadership void, and it's just a better vibe for it. So as boring as the second half of the season was at times, at least it felt like you could breathe a bit. You're
Yeah.
like, okay, yeah, hey, things. You know what? At least they're not chasing a dream that's not going to happen.
Yeah, and honestly, once they clinched last, then it did kind of open up this aspect of like, okay, now you can win as many games as you want, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah, go
and you
beat
can
up some LA teams.
Yeah, exactly. Go have fun. Try to
Get out of here, California.
take San Jose out of the
Yeah.
playoff race.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
That make sure. I mean, at the end of the day, that's a big one too, because now Celebrini's going to be looking over at the Canucks once they get McKenna, and they're going to be
Look, that's the team on the
Now
rise.
that's the team on the rise. My home team.
Yeah.
I got to be there.
I can put him over the top. I got to join those guys.
Yeah, Bedard. It's going to be him, Bedard, and 34-year-old Connor McDavid, big three like the Miami Heat in 2010, showing up at the presser at Rogers Arena. That's what we've got to wait on right now.
It's gonna happen.
It's going to happen for sure.
That's the one thing that is funny about the Canucks. There are a lot of other teams that you're like, what are they doing?
Yeah. Yeah. And this is the one of those few years where you can kind of you can say they did end up going in the right direction. And then you look at some other teams around the league and you're kind of like, you've got Toronto using AI to figure out for trade prompts. You've got...
They're putting in the wrong prompts, though. I don't know.
They're putting in the wrong prompts. It's clearly not working, whatever it is. And you've got... I mean, it's been a weird season in the NHL in general. Florida missed the playoffs from all the injuries over 3 years. Buffalo gets in.
Buffalo's on fire. Ottawa's the lone, or two. Montreal, Ottawa are the Canadian chances.
Yeah, Edmonton's there too, but they're...
That's right. I always forget. They don't count.
They don't count. Alberta has made it very clear that they don't want to count.
In my head, I was thinking of the Canadian teams that if they won, people would be too mad.
Would be happy about it.
I don't want them to win, but if they have to.
Yeah,
Montreal, Ottawa don't bother me.
Yeah, no.
Hey everyone, Ariel here. Just wanted to thank you for reading the Stanchies this year. We all know it hasn't been the easiest of years, and that is putting it pretty damn lightly. But really, everyone continuing to watch the team is one thing, but everyone continuing to read us watching the team is kind of an extra step, and we really appreciate it. We do spend a lot of time and effort and tears on those articles. Wyatt, I know you do especially. I'd say the tears, come at me if I'm wrong. Now, for our eagle-eyed Stanchies readers, you might recognize that I am currently wearing a vintage, which sounds ridiculous to say about early 2000s, but yes, a vintage early 2000s Canucks jersey, one of my very beloved Canucks jerseys. Now, I know it is considered a faux pas for media to wear team merch, but right now, I am not a writer, I am not media, I'm just a girl standing in front of her hockey team begging them to win games. Now, this third alternate jersey was introduced for the 2001 season, which commenced 2 months before I was born. Yeah, I'll let everyone sit with that for a second. And I did some math, and I've determined that in my lifespan, since this jersey, since that season, the Vancouver Canucks have made the playoffs 12 times. I'm 24. Doing some quick math, that's half. Half of my life, the Canucks have made the playoffs. Now, not in order, not consecutively, maybe not in the last 15 years, consistently, but still, that counts for something. Half the time in 24 years. I like to think that I am a glass half full kind of person when it comes to this team. Some of you, especially in the comments of every single article, maybe some stanchies, hey, we know you, we love you, we see you. Some of you might be glass half empty, and that's cool. We need a good balance, balance to the force, all of that. I am still a glass half full person. If the Canucks mathematically have made the playoffs for half of my life, who's to say they won't make the playoffs for another half of the rest of my life, which is undetermined? So basically, what I'm saying is that we're all stuck here together, and I'm stuck here maybe for eternity. We'll see how long I live. And I will still be wearing this jersey that is as old as me, and I will still be loving this team that is much older than me. Isn't that beautiful? No? You're still a glass half empty? That's fine. That's fine. We can move past it. Yeah. So again, we just wanted to give a big thank you to everyone for continuing to read CanucksArmy.com, for continuing to read the Stanchies, even through this really rough season. Again, there is kind of no other way to say that at this point, and trust me, we tried to find new ways to say that every single night after every single game in the Stanchies. And honestly, I think we did an okay job. We somehow did find more creative and nuanced ways to talk about the Vancouver Canucks being last in the league. And I really hope, for the sake of our sanity and for your readership, that it's better next year. But even if it isn't, I will be here. I love this team. I love writing about this team, and I don't think I'll ever stop doing it. So again, thank you everyone for tuning in, for reading. Please click all the ads, and please, please, Canucks, please.
We have some questions from Twitter and from Blue Sky from you guys. Shout out to everyone who sent in questions.
We'll go here with David at Will Severe WX. Is the organizational leadership outside the locker room toxic?
I mean, I think you could make an argument for that. Certainly, I think without as we think about it
to avoid lawsuits.
Yeah, to avoid lawsuits. We've seen what happens, so I'm going to say they're doing a great job.
Amazing! How dare you say that? Talk?
Yeah,
David, how dare you?
Yeah, how dare you suggest such things? They're saints.
Now, if I read a book about something like this, and we're a fictional character, or ran the team like this, I would say, yeah, a really good case. It's
yeah. If this was Minecraft, of course I'd be saying yes, absolutely. Yeah, there's a lot of issues with the Canucks that would be solved under different ownership, different leadership. I mean, or at the very least, it would be a big breath of fresh air for the organization. It would someone who would come in with different ideas and different expectations, and just in general. But the fact of the matter is, we don't have a say in that. We don't have any. No, the fans, unfortunately, I don't think there's much the fans can do to make that change. Regardless, it's entirely up to them. So as long as they're here, we got to make it work. We got to make it work somehow.
Yeah, I think the hope is that, like, if you don't get new ownership, that they just change their approach. Like, they got to avoid that pinchable Skinner meme of like, the children are the problem. No, look in the mirror. What can you do to change your approach? I had a bit of hope that when they brought in Rutherford, because the Jim Benning one, that was such a weird symbiotic relationship that we heard all the rumors and all that stuff about how maybe was the ownership too involved, et cetera, et cetera. So now Rutherford's got that cachet of being this guy who's got a veteran guy. He can come in and be like the Godfather, but then you're still hearing stuff about what is he trying to please ownership? You don't know. So there's so many things where you're like, well, I personally want kind of that Mike Gillis approach where he did have some level of autonomy. I know he didn't get all of it, but you want someone I would hope that ownership would have a guy come in and kind of give him room to breathe. Like you always say, hire good people and let them do their job.
Yeah,
and that's what they need to do, because right now, we all heard the ownership is it has taken away a lot of people. Let's just say a lot of good people have left that organization, and I think they just kind of you got to bring more good people in and let them cook.
Yeah, you have to give them the time and the resources and the money to do the things that they need to be able to accomplish. You go back to the Gillis era and how it's because that's the big thing is we've seen what they could do when just left to their own devices, and how phenomenal of a hockey team you can get when you just let the people do their job and you give them all the resources to get it done. So yeah, they have that blueprint already, they just have to blow all the dust off of it and when they pull it back out of storage, essentially.
Yeah, and for me, I'm wondering, just conjecture on my part for sure. If you're an owner, how important is it you to feel like you helped win that cup, or do you just want to win a cup? And I hope they would just want to win a cup, not feel like they have to have their fingerprints all over it, right? I did that, I did this, I was part of that. you know, at the end of the day, I'd hope you'd be able to put aside your ego and be like, let's just bring in the best people to do the job. Because I think that someone posted the Mike Gillis outline he gave to Pittsburgh about how he'd run a team, and I read that. I'm like, this sounds amazing.
Yeah. Hey, this guy should be a GM.
They should look at this.
They should look at it. I don't know. He seems to have some good ideas.
And he's the first guy to admit his faults in that one. He's like, I should have redone, because his biggest thing was scouting. He's like, I should have just redone the entire scouting when I came on board. And like, so he's the guy who learned from his mistakes, and that's kind of what you want, is like someone to come in who has a plan and puts a bunch of good people in place and lets them cook.
Yeah.
We're at Riot Survivor. Talked to him a long time. Good guy. What was each of your favorite games to cover with the Stanchies this season? Yeah, you talked a bit about Curtis Douglas. Any other games stand out for you? Aside from the food.
The food. Oh yeah, we'll get there. We had a couple food questions,
Okay.
which I'm excited about. The Ducks game is high up there. There was as I try to think back to the beginning of the year and everything. God, I think it might just be the Douglas game, because there were not a lot of great moments. The Quinn Hughes return game, or the Hughes week game.
Yeah, the Hughes week game. Thanks, Quads.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, he'll be watching this video. This will be on. I'm pretty sure this is a Canucks Army collab, so this will be on the channel. He's doing a great job.
Yeah,
we love you, buddy.
You and Ekelini run the show, so
Don't fire. No, please don't. Please don't. I think the Hughes game is a big one. That one was a fun game. There was, just for it being the game that clinched the last place. I don't know. What about you?
I can't remember which game it was, but the one where Z Boom had that really nice goal where he dangled off the face off. It was the nicest goal of the season he had. That was just because that was like the first, after a while, like where you're like, oh, that's the guy that they traded for. That's the guy that they see and they need him to be. And I don't think Boom had like the most, like for me, Ogren was the guy who stood out the most from that trade.
Yeah.
I think he did really well for himself. And Boom has tons of time. Don't get me wrong. I'm not like, oh, he's a bust, but that was the one game where like, oh, I can kind of see the vision there a bit, right? So like, because you see like the other Hudson come in the league and he's already dangling, like, oh, like, because that's kind of what we got spoiled with Quinn Hughes when he first showed up. He was so good right away. Like you saw Quinn Hughes, like this guy's already the best defenseman, isn't he?
Yeah.
Right? Like, and that's an unfair thing for Boom to be saddled. I totally get that.
Oh yeah.
But I do have a level where I'm like, oh, okay, like you do have to give him time to develop, and that was the one game where like, oh, I can kind of see that. Oh, he's got some moves when he puts it together. So.
Yeah, he'll get there. You got to get the right coach in there.
It's also a tough situation with this. Yeah, exactly. Right.
Yeah.
The team itself is not good.
Yeah,
it's tough to do
that's been the hardest part. Is just like, even for the players that have kind of done well, it's hard to really point them out as like having a big season, because it didn't look like anybody really developed. No one developed.
Drew O'Connor is the guy.
Drew O'Connor is
that guy was a stud this season.
Adam Foote will be being like, you see what I did to Drew O'Connor whenever he interviews for the next job he's getting.
I will go to the grave this saying he deserved the most exciting player this season, because we covered a lot of games, and there were lots of games where he got, like the Canucks themselves got maybe 12 shots, but Drew O'Connor had 2 breakaways. He worked hard every game. To me, he was the most exciting player. Boom got it, which I think was more like hopeful, like, oh, like he's exciting potential, but actual excitement, it was Drew O'Connor. He was robbed.
Yeah, I agree on that one. I agree on that one. And actually, you know what, I'm thinking about another game that I'd be crazy not to mention, the Broline game.
Oh yeah,
that was a 4. Now I should say on camera, I did not see this tweet. Somebody tweeted that before I did, or someone tweeted it during the game.
Great minds. It happens.
Great minds think alike. I want it on record. I did not see it until after the game and after I'd published the thing.
When you're writing after a game, you're not looking at it. You're just like writing.
No, I'm just writing. I am just writing. Exactly. And I throw that in at I think 4 in the morning. I'm just like, I don't know, the bro line. And then it caught on like wildfire, to the point where I got to hear them ask Marco Rossi about it.
That's always exciting, right?
Yeah. I was like, holy shit. Like,
I got Tyler Myers like, I hate chaos draft.
Yeah. That was,
I'm like, oh shit.
No, I choose to believe that his way of saying that he loves you so much.
Yeah, it's a Vancouver thing.
That belongs to the people of Vancouver, and Wyatt aren't. That can't come here with me.
That's some Dallas fans sad they can't use it, because it is a fun name. It's not mean spirited. It's just fun.
It's fun
because I think he'd be the first to admit that he had some chaotic times on the ice. All right, that's all I'm saying.
He seems like he's got a good sense of humor. Yeah. So I don't think it was necessarily out of I hated it, especially because no one called him that in the locker room or anything. But
that we know of, maybe they
did. Maybe they did.
That's what started the schism.
Yeah, there was merch made.
That's what Pedersen hated it, and then Miller loved it, and that's what caused the whole divide.
Yeah, never. Yeah, one of them was wearing the shirts, one of them wasn't. Yeah, that's wow. We did that. I can't believe we broke the Canucks.
But aside from that, the other game was after the deadline. The first game, just 'cause it was like freeing.
Yeah.
Like, oh, good. We have a future now. Maybe.
Yeah, thank God.
Yeah.
A direction of some kind.
Yeah.
Thank God.
I will say the bro line, going back to the bro line really quick, it was nice that when they would have O'Connor on that line, because it'd still be the bro line. So it was like, it was whether it had the umlaut or not. That was the difference.
Yeah, that is exactly. Somebody else pointed out that also when that bro with the umlaut over the O in Swedish is bread, so they're also the bread line.
We have a lot of options
Yeah,
now.
we have
See?
so
We're
many
working.
options.
We got Sir Douglas. Lisa loves hockey. Lisa, she's always been a huge supporter. I love Lisa. She made me a blanket. I don't know where it is. Will there ever be another Trust the Process episode? And if not, would you and I consider doing a podcast together? Trust the Process, it will kind of happen, but Bowman is so busy, and I've been so busy, so that one's a tough one to put together. But I am down. This is fun. Like, if you ever want to do a podcast,
I would love to do a podcast with you.
we should take on quads. Canucks Conversation, we're coming for you.
Yes, exactly.
Come on, Harm.
Now,
bring it.
now, also, do you want to pay for it?
Quad shuts down.
Can we? Yeah. Would you be willing to pay for us to use the studio that you're not?
Get an email tomorrow. You guys are out of a job.
Oh shit! All right, we asked for too much. But yeah, I'd love to do a podcast with you, man. That'd be awesome.
This is kind of fun too. It's also like, again, there's a bit of therapy involved because we can both talk about what a rough season was.
Yeah, it's very much. It is therapy of just, oh my God, somebody's going through the same shit that I'm going through right now.
Yeah. Oh, look, at the 9-shot game. What do I talk about?
Oh God, yeah. Oh, I'm so thankful I didn't get that one. That was I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I know. They like upgraded it to like 11 shots after the game, or I'm like, oh, good, I guess.
The one good thing about that little shots though is that you can just make GIFs for every individual shot and talk about that.
I think I did a clip of a shot attempt. I'm like, this is really low. Oh boy. What a low point of my career. Yeah. Izzy, good friend Izzy.
Yes.
She needs to know what the best media meal was.
The best media meal this season was, and now I will say I didn't go to any of the Canucks games, so I have not gotten a chance to try the Rogers Arena media meal. I hear good things about it.
It can be.
I've heard they have the Sunday bar sometimes.
That you want to see journalists get excited? It like ripples down the line at the Sunday bar. It's wild.
See, that's what I'm excited about. I'm hoping that day is
moment.
Oh God, yeah. I'm hoping that day is coming sooner than later. But as far as the places that I've been to, in Abbotsford, I went to an Abbotsford game a couple weeks ago. At the Rogers Forum, as it's now called, and they have the stand called Lully's that makes these insanely good foot-long hot dogs. I have never had a better hot dog at a sporting event in my life. That thing was awesome. And because when you go to the Abbotsford games, they don't do like media meal like a lot of the other places do, where they just like most arenas will make food for the media to eat and also all their employees to eat. In Abbotsford, they give you like a little voucher that you take to one of the concession stands that's worth enough for like a full dinner. And so I got to try the hot dog, and oh my God, it was amazing.
Okay.
It's worth going to an Abbotsford Canucks game just for the hot dog.
Finally, a reason to go to Abbotsford. I'm excited.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm kidding,
that'll be us.
Abbotsford.
That'll be us next season. We're gonna get to a game. We meant to this year. We just didn't find the good time to do it.
Yeah, well, we will. Jacob Doodle asks, what do you think is the most glaring need for the organization moving forward between speed or size and grit?
I would be inclined to say speed for sure. Like you watch teams like when the Canucks play teams like Edmonton, for example, and even the year where they were really good. The thing that I took away most from that series, especially like in the late stages of that series, was watching Edmonton just wear them down with their speed over the course of that series, to the point where in Game 7 I'm watching them and I'm like, oh, they're out of gas. They have nothing left to give. It felt like Game 5 of that series was they emptied the tank just to get it to 3-2. So for me, I think I would really love to see a Canucks team that's fast and has the endurance level to play at that speed, especially in the Pacific Division, which wasn't good this year, but I think in most of the past seasons and with all the players that are in it right now, like McDavid, Celebrini, you go down the list, you have to be fast to keep up with those teams. You have to be able to play that high octane level like of hockey. Otherwise, you're just not going to be. They're going to run you out of the building.
Yeah, I think if you don't have the speed, you end up playing the kind of the hockey that no one likes, which is the jumping in, but you can't get the puck back sort of thing.
Yeah.
And so there is a level of like, that's kind of always what happens with the prospects that come in that kind of fail to develop. You're like, oh, the guy can't skate. Mm-hmm. You're like, oh, like he never stood a chance. Like, yeah, if you can't skate, you are kind of limited for sure. I am going to answer differently though for the short term and saying size and grit for this team. I think draft for speed, but I would bring in a bunch of players with the size and grit because this fan base needs a team that's going to fight for them. And even Kirst Douglas is getting the fanfare just for being a guy that'll go out and throw hits. And I want someone like nothing against Kiefer Sherwood, but a hit from Kiefer Sherwood, 100 hits doesn't equal one Rafi Torres hit. Like there's a level to this where like hitting, and he does wear you down. I would love to have him in any lineup. But I do want some guys that can go out there and just bang you. Really, that sounds really dirty. Go out there and hit you really
Rephrase that maybe a little bit.
They can bend you over and bang you. No. I want the two guys that can bang. I think this team, the market wants a team that's going to fight because they've had, 3 years of like everyone quitting on them as fans. From players to organization, everyone seems to have been quitting on them. You want players that want to be here, and you want players that are going to fight in the ice. Even if they lose, if they go down swinging, that'll keep fans around. So that's why I would kind of focus on the short term.
Sounds good to me. I think that, especially if you're going to have a young player, like potentially a young prodigy in your lineup, you need to protect him.
Yeah, you saw it. Some of the young players were getting a bit feisty because they didn't want to lose, and like a lot of the veterans, I think, were just kind of checked out, whatever. But some of the young guys were like, what is this bullshit? We're losing, and like they're going to get a bit feisty, and you want guys that can back up and ride or die with them rather than like the veteran going to the bench and like, whatever, I need a contract next year somewhere else.
Yeah, some of those guys are Calder Cup champions, and they know what it takes to win, and they're gonna go down swinging.
Max Masson is not going to accept any bullshit.
Nothing. Yeah.
He's flashing the ring in the locker room. Why did you get this for no reason?
You see this? Yeah. Linus Carlson's just like, listen, as a champion, we know what it takes to get it done at this level.
I hope those two and like Baines early in the season like put the rings together in a circle before the game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Talflick, why? Why does God hate us and our insufferable franchise? Was it built on some sort of burial ground, and is it cursed for eternity?
Oh, I mean, I don't know. It was built on the bones of Expo '86, so I don't.
That was a success.
There was a roller coaster there. I think.
Did something bad happen at Expo we're not aware of that we've buried in top of?
I don't know. I mean, it did create the long-stemming issues of insanely high-rising prices to live here.
It did. The cost of living was because of Expo. That's fair. Okay.
And then it was the Expo and then the Olympics.
Yeah.
Those were the two that kind of made everything.
Which is so like the Expo alone obviously brought in a bunch of people back in the day, but like the Olympics, like you couldn't have asked for better weather. Like it made our city look fucking amazing.
Yeah.
They're flying in snow and like sun all the time. You're like what the hell?
Yeah, what is that? It's phenomenal.
It's
and everyone's coming here. It's like, this is phenomenal.
It rains 8 months of the year. I'm telling you, it's not this good.
Yeah,
there is like we saw again. I'm not getting too conspiracy theories with everyone, but we saw the whole Colin Campbell thing how it played out. Like I think you'd be naive to think that some people in power will abuse their power at times, and I just don't think the Canucks have ever been in a power broker situation where it would go to their advantage. That's the nicest way I can say it.
I mean, great example is like, the Canucks had to repay the capture penalty for Luongo, but so many other teams that got, you know what, that's okay, you don't have to do that anymore. It's like, are you kidding me? Oh, so we have to do that.
It's easy for Vancouver to be used for these examples. And again, we've heard even in the older days, like certain owners have a lot more power. Like the Boston owner has more power. Like I don't think Eckley's in the in club with the NHL.
That's probably very true.
Right. So I don't think you've got a lot of chance for things to go your way. If there was a time for a finger to be on the scale, to tip the scale a bit, it's never going to go Vancouver's way. That's all I'll say.
So congrats to the Chicago Blackhawks on getting yet another first round
McKenna
pick.
and Bedard.
The New York Rangers for getting second.
Yeah, 100%.
Congrats to you guys.
Well, that's the thing, because at the end of the day, like those are bigger markets. Why wouldn't like? There is a level of like I'm here for it.
Edmonton got it 4 times.
I know.
How? How did you do that?
Gretzky.
He wasn't there, but he was there.
He's a good Oiler. He's got blood.
The boys club.
Yeah. East fan Justin, what's more likely to happen? The Canucks winning the draft lottery or Vancouver getting an MLB expansion team?
I would say the first overall pick inherently is
not
just
going to happen.
Listen, that's a pipe dream.
That's a desperate Ken Sim trying to get political clout. He's drowning.
This is we're going to get the BC Lions in Surrey all over again. There's no chance. Why don't we make sure that the MLS team stays?
We can barely keep them.
Then we'll talk about baseball.
Yeah.
Can
you imagine? Yeah, we had enough trouble getting Mulder here. I can't imagine trying to get a baseball player, even like a. Yeah, it's not going to happen.
No.
Who's got the pockets for that, for one? The infrastructure's not there. It's not going to happen.
As cool as it would be, and we're not like hating on it because we don't want it. It'd be really cool.
Yep.
But it's just, there's no chance. The Blue Jays would not let that happen. The Mariners wouldn't let that happen.
It'd be rough. Yeah. Dragon was Slade. How about, what will it take to make the Canucks enjoyable to cover next year? Is 1 or 2 new young players enough, or a new coaching system?
I think for me, I mean the new coaching system would be huge. for sure.
Yep.
But I think just again, it's the vibe around the team that matters most, because you can like in some ways, like you do worry, like you wonder with a player like Gavin McKenna, like after everything that happened this season with him, right? And if even if the Canucks are necessarily the best place to mature a player like that, so I think that the best thing for them is always going to be, can we have the right coaching staff and the right management team that will set the right example and the right like basis for what they want, culture for what they want the team to be. Because if you have that, then it doesn't matter then you can get those players to buy in and develop into great people off the ice. Like I think, like especially like, I mean, you look at the difference when all the Canucks were going to Canuck Place back in the day compared to now, where sometimes it's like it's a miracle when they do show up.
Yeah.
And that's and that's not necessarily even a knock on the players so much as it is on that's just not the culture they've known.
Yep.
That hasn't been passed down to them like it was back in the day when you had the Sedins and Luongo. So I think that's going to matter the most, is just seeing that the culture improves around the organization, and that goes beyond the players. That's off the ice as well.
Well, that's the thing with, the credit to Brian Burke for any mistakes you might not like about him. He was so hardcore about, you will do things for the community because we're in a position of power and we're going to help those in need. And that was amazing. And that kind of lasted all the way to the Sedins and kind of went away to an extent. And they have to get back to that because they need to embrace the community. Like there is a level of like them being like, you're lucky you get to watch us. Not the players, but like that's the vibe you get from the organization. Like you're lucky, like we're letting you come watch our games. And it's like, what the fuck?
Well, yeah. and people wonder why it's been so hard for them to get a practice facility done.
Yeah.
Because they want someone else to help them pay for it, but nobody wants to.
It's a lot of take.
Because everyone's like, well, what have you done for us? Like, hang on here. Like, yeah.
And that's the thing too, like even like player interactions, I think there was a level of like, like the team, I understand, like I'll never know what it's like to have like everyone try and mob me, like a couple people say hi once in a while, and that's a big moment for me. But I can't imagine like your life being on display. But that comes to the courts, you get paid millions of dollars, that kind of comes to the job a bit, and you see other people embrace it. And in Vancouver, it does feel like there was this kind of divide where it got like more and more like get away from us, and then like what, like the fans make this team go, and then they got to get back to that and rebuild that culture, because you look at Thomas Mueller, I go back to him, like, can you get a better diplomat for the Whitecaps than him?
He's done a phenomenal job. He's always boosting the
He
Caps.
looks so happy all the time.
He looks like he loves it here, and he's like having the best time of his life.
Yeah, like he looks like he's making, like he loves everything about it, and it's great. And that's a guy that he is a bigger star than any Canuck player.
Oh yeah,
he's known everywhere, so everyone can be like, oh, I know him, and how come he's not going to get that? And he does such a fantastic job. So now, can everyone do that? I understand that's a very extroverted thing to do, and as an introvert, it's not my favorite thing to do. But
yeah, same.
Right? We're not going to be great at it, but there is a level I think Canucks can rise to where they can be better at embracing the community and just kind of like showing that we're in this together, rather than like you're lucky you're here for the ride.
Yeah. Another great example right now is the Golden Eyes too. They've done a really good job. Those players are always out and about. Like they're always in the community doing something, or they're at the very least they're actively like going to the local restaurants and everything. They get I've talked to a few of the players that I have been lucky enough to go to those games and those practices. They talk about how they get recognized at the grocery store. They get people will tell them how much they love their season ticket holders. They love going to the games, and they're always thrilled about that when they hear that from the fans and everything. And like they have really, the players that have come into the city, even though they're also not winning a lot of hockey games, but they have really embraced it, and they're having, and like just the other day we heard that they feel like the group of players they have are such a strong group in terms of they love the city and they really have bought in, and they have there's no locker room issues with them or anything. They're just a really well put together, like they all love playing as a group, and they love the team that they have in this market. So the Canucks can find some of that energy. That would be huge for them. There's a reason why people love going to the Golden Eyes games and love supporting that team.
I will say that they should have worn those Oilers jerseys. I'm going to say it. They should have done it.
They should have done
that picture where they wore their Oilers jerseys.
That was a mistake. That was a mistake. I will say that was a big mistake.
The one misstep they had this season was that picture.
One misstep, like Sarah Nurse wearing her cousin's jersey.
Yeah,
I get. It wasn't even the good Oilers jersey. It was the bad third jersey. Oh, they're not that bad. They're just meh. They're just meh jerseys.
We got one from Lorne here. Why do you think this year went so far off the rails, and is Rutherford at least partly responsible? I'll start right away myself. Rutherford, he has to be. Any leader takes the responsibility. That's what you do as being a leader. Yeah. He himself specifically said that he took over the Quinn stuff. I do think him with Alvin in there, that weird who's doing what relationship is a weird approach. I don't like it. Maybe other orgs do that, but I still don't like it. I think there is way too much thought from this organization as a whole, from the top, that's worrying about the things that don't matter. Like focus on the things that do matter, which is your on-ice product and your roster. Don't worry about the outside noise. I think they're far too worried about that stuff.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, like don't worry about that. Who cares?
Like we said before, you got to let people do the job you're paying them to do.
They've brought in so many good people over the years in like creative roles that haven't been allowed to do the way they want to do it, and they've just got to let them cook. Because like. Look at again. Go back to Buffalo. Their administrator, like when they made the playoffs, had the best day sending out receipts.
Yeah, let's go. Putting up a billboard.
Yeah.
What a day. What a fun day.
You do. There's some level of like if you let like again that was kind of what I always thought about Roberto Luongo when he came to Vancouver. He was very kind of stiff initially and felt like he didn't know what was going on. He didn't quite get the market. But once he like kind of let loose and showed that he was human, the whole Strombone thing came out and like started making fun of himself. Like he is beloved in this market because of that. Because that's kind of that. There's the self-deprecation is the fuel for Vancouver fandom.
Truly, yes.
It is. That's what you have to understand. And the Canucks organization at the top don't understand that. And that's where the ego comes into it. They don't understand that it's okay to admit fault and okay to admit that you're not perfect because none of us are. And that's the Vancouver way.
Yeah. Yes. Absolutely.
Right, Sherlock? There, my dog's yelling. Yes, we agree, Sherlock.
Sherlock said, furthermore.
Yeah, furthermore.
Yeah.
When are you going to start calling them the Irvies?
I don't think anybody wants that. Even me. I think the Stanchies are good. I think we don't need to rebrand them anytime soon. The only way they'd end up becoming the Irvies is if you retired, and please don't retire. No, not yet. I'm not ready for that yet.
I wouldn't put you through that on your own yet.
Not yet. Give me a few years.
Dave Shepard, just why?
I don't know. That's a question for my therapist.
Yeah, that's a deep question.
That's a very deep question. I think it started when I was just realized I wasn't going to make the National Hockey League back when I was 17. Part of me still believes I could get there. I don't know. We'll see. If I work out hard enough during the off season, maybe I can get one of those emergency backup jobs. Then I'll write the Stanchies on the bench.
There you go.
Yeah.
Got some blue sky in there so we get everyone involved.
Yes.
Canucks fan asking, hey, who's going to be the main writer for next year? What are we doing here?
Apparently another person who's like, it's time for the Irvies. I still until you're staying until they win a cup, right? That's the rule.
Never gonna. I mean. I will say that. I mean, that's a sign that you've worked hard. That you've got fans who support you. I remember
that is
when
actually,
Botch was the king. It was always nice when someone said like your stuff. Like I never take it. I hope you love what he does and you want him to succeed. So I love seeing that stuff.
Yeah, that I appreciate that too. Really, like especially for the last couple of years, I was struggling a little bit of like not so much that I was worried. Oh, people aren't. I think it was more just in general beyond the Stanchies. I was like, if I retired tomorrow, if I stopped doing hockey writing tomorrow, would anyone remember I made anything? This year, for sure, it feels like, oh, I will be in someone's memory in terms of what I did in this market, which I appreciate. So thank you guys so much for reading and watching.
Not to get too bro here, but you took a big step forward, and I think you took a big leap, and that was like what we want from the Canucks. You want like a young up and comer just to kind of step up, and you did during what was one of the toughest seasons.
Yeah, truly, it was a tough year, but trial by fire. But I definitely feel like I learned and improved this season.
I think you'll learn more about yourself as a writer during the bad seasons. Like anyone can write during a good season.
Easy to write the good years,
and that's why whenever it says like media wants to be negative, no,
it's
I
all
want the team to be good because then my job's so easy.
I can only write the same article of here's how you fix the Canucks so many times before it's suddenly 10 years and I've wrote the same article 11 times.
So we'll get to Rob Erickson asks, is a big one here. Lots of who's at fault players or management out there for current state of team. It'd be interesting to hear some thoughts on what management should have done different based on what was known in the moment, not hindsight with Horvat, Miller, Hughes, all the extensions. And that's a big question.
That's a question a little above our pay grade, but at the same time, it's hard not to look back at when they chose between Horvat and Miller.
I think everyone agrees that's the biggest moment. And it was rushed by all accounts. He switched in midstream. Rutherford said, going Miller.
Yeah, basically just because the contract negotiations weren't going exactly how they wanted them to. Like how different of a position are we in right now if they had kept Horvat instead of Miller? Maybe I don't know if they're necessarily still in the playoffs even, but I feel like the vibes are at least better.
Well, the biggest controversy under Horvat was like he didn't like players playing Fortnite in the road, which in hindsight, like maybe he was on something. Maybe that was a sign that the team wasn't fully in sync with each other, right? So like instead we went a different direction, and then I'm a gamer, so I'm not even coming down in games. I love gaming, but
now they're all playing Fortnite on the road.
They're not talking to anyone. I do think going Miller was a choice because he did have the background of like not he left a couple of teams with the same sort of vibe around him, right? And then there was that infamous quote from Vigneault where it's like where Miller tell Vigneault that he gets it, or was it the other way around? They're like, I get it now, and like I don't think he does. I think Miller. I said that like I loved Miller as a player. He can be a big moment guy for sure, but he's a really really great winner, but a terrible loser, and that's what was tough. He wasn't able to navigate the rough waters in this market, and Bo Horvat could. He came from the Sedin School of Leadership. Yeah. Like he may give boring press conferences or pressers, but like no controversy, and you like. He never showed that he was bleeding. Like, oh, okay, they're losing terribly, but he still believes in the team.
Yeah, exactly. You always got that. You always got the vibe that he really and he cared. And we go back to the off ice stuff. It felt like he cared about the community as well, and he put he put big emphasis on the community, being a good leader beyond just on the ice. And I always respected that about Bo Horvat.
Yeah, and
God, I wanted that gold medal for him.
I know.
I wanted that gold medal for him so badly.
I will say that Rutherford, that whole how the Miller Horvat thing came down, that was kind of, we saw it with the Boudreaux stuff, we saw it with again the Zadorov stuff, where like you kind of like the negotiations weren't done in a way that got them love or respect from the players involved. It felt like a bit overbearing, and that kind of paid the price. That like again, I not that Zadorov was the key to anything, but I missed that swagger of him that they brought. I think he kept people in line. I think they needed a counterbalance to JT Miller's leadership from guys that would keep him accountable, and they lost that with the Tanevs and the others, everyone leaving.
Yeah,
they kind of and Horvat, like they lost the balance in the room. And I always point out it would be kind of like if the Canucks didn't have the Sedins and let Kessler be the captain in 2011. I worry that would be the same thing with Miller. Like there's these guys that are good winners but terrible losers, and that's tough to have a team stick together for a long time around.
Yeah.
Chris Golden, Light Force. This is for you, Locke. Steamer's dog or Costco hot dog?
I haven't had a Steamer's dog in a long time.
Oh, you have had one though. Okay, good. Okay.
I've had them before.
Okay.
It's been a long time. It just hasn't made the last time I went to Rogers. I got
faded.
Yeah, my memory of it has faded. I will say though that if I remember them correctly, they're really good hot dogs. It's just God, it's hard to beat a $1.50 Costco dog. Now, people's opinion on that might change now because you have to have the Costco membership to do it.
Yes.
I do have one, luckily enough, so I am able to still do that. I would say that I do love generally as a writer who doesn't have a lot of money.
Yep.
The Costco dog is my go-to. But if the money is there to do it, if the disposable income is there to do it, of course I would go for one of the Steamer's dogs. Absolutely.
So here's my last question I'm going to have. What was a more bold choice? Costco going to membership only for the food, or making Luongo the captain?
The bolder choice.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I gotta go with Costco on that one. As a kid who grew up asking teams to give him the captaincy because I was the goaltender and Luongo was a captain, I always liked that move. I mean, it worked. I mean, I think he did. I think he was good at that job for the 2 years he did it.
But then Hank in the wings is an easy one to go to.
Once he goes and wins a Hart Trophy, of course you're gonna give it to that guy. Yeah. One last thing before we go, I do have in this giant Boxmart poster.
Is this like a giant? You're fired. I'm taking over the job.
Yes, this is that's
the Irvies.
The Irvies. Yeah, this is the new sign.
So I get told.
Yeah.
Tell why.
I went and got this printed up at Staples. No, it is an Alexander McGillney poster.
Oh, I love my boy.
Yeah, I know what a big McGillney guy you are. I've had this sitting since literally 2019, the 15th season.
Oh man.
And that's all for you, my guy.
Oh man, give me 1 second. I gotta find. I'm not giving anything. I just want to brag about something. Hold on.
Brag. Oh, this is gonna be the year fired.
Yeah, I've had enough of your garbage.
You're let go. You've been replaced.
I'm just gonna have my. This is my McGillney jersey. Look at that.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, that's. Yeah.
That's a 20th patch on there too.
That's
I have to get a new Sabres jersey. I have one. It's a Ryan Miller jersey, which is good.
Yeah.
The bad part is that it's that yellow one. Do you remember the really bad Reebok Edge yellow one that said Buffalo in like the tiniest watermark at the top?
I have a Tyler Myers in that one.
Okay, let's go. All right, so this is why we get along so well.
Yeah.
Now, I have the Ryan Miller one. I would like to get a Miller goat head at some point because your boy was Hasek. Mine was Miller.
I love that. Oh, yeah, Miller's again. You can't go wrong with that either, right? Like I will say that I just missed out on eBay on a Curtis Brown, the butter knife Buffalo jersey, the red one. That's very rare.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
I want to try to get that one. I just missed out on that one, so I'm trying to get. But I did order for like $30. a Jack Eichel Buffalo jersey, one I don't have. So I'm gonna, like, why not?
That one's a bit cursed
Yeah,
now.
I know. 15 Jack Eichel.
Yeah, suddenly that's going for $2.
Yeah, it was really cheap for.
Huh, very weird.
Well, I'm sure there are fans out there getting easy Quinn Hughes jerseys now. Like, well, this is delightful.
Oh my God, yeah. I saw you see them at the stores now, and of course now no one wants them anymore. People, there was a point from December to about I'd say mid-February where people did still want those jerseys. Now suddenly not so much.
No, that is worth its own. We'll talk about in the podcast next season how crazy his arc went from hero to villain.
Yeah, that was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Well, Wyatt, it's been great having you on the video. It's been, and honestly, just, from the bottom of my heart, I really appreciate you giving me the opportunity to do the Stanchies this year and be like the full backup role. Next year, hopefully we'll do even bigger and better stuff.
Yep.
Thank you so much for everything this year. Thank you for doing this, and I appreciate. I love doing the Stanchies and everything, and it's an honor to get to work and write with you as like someone who I've looked up to for years. Like it means the world to me. So I appreciate it.
Thank you. I do want to say, like, I've loved watching you work. You've really applied yourself. I can't wait to see what you do next. To all the fans out there who kept reading our stuff, even during the dark times, even just to interact with us, we wouldn't be here without you. Thank you so much for just supporting us as well. So even the ones that didn't like us that much, as long as you were respectful, no problem with that. Debate and argue is all you want.
Yeah. As long as if you're just yelling at me about hockey takes, that's fine.
Go for it.
Yeah, it's when you start getting weirdly political with me that I'm like, muted. Yeah, fantastic. In case there's someone watching this video who doesn't know who you are, why don't you plug your socials?
Yeah, at the Stanchion on the Twitter. I'm sure Blue Sky is Stanchion as well. I'm on Twitter. I've been writing these articles. We'll be doing it again next season. I'm sure I'll have an off-season article too in me. And I guess we'll talk after the draft.
Thanks so much for watching. Make sure to read the Stanchies after the game against the Canucks and the Oilers tonight. And we'll see you next season. We'll be back here next year.
Can't get rid of us.
See ya.